Hey,
I see you there.
good. That's really me. Now I can turn it off.
Hello.
That's my voice I hear?
Are you in place now?
I just got here
Oh, you
like
need the link?
15 minutes.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'll get it to you. Okay, bye. We got you, Ed. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep. All good.
All right. All right. Hello there, Jim, Jeff, Carrie. Hey, I'm good. How's it going?
All is good. Good to see
All right.
you. Had to get my Coors Light opened up. I'm kidding, to whoever might be out there. Our 5 listeners that are out there.
Got 3 on right now.
What's that, 3 right now already? Okay. That's right. It's okay. Hundreds of thousands will come back on YouTube, so.
What's that?
Jeff just informed us he's got a lot of questions on the closeout.
Okay.
Ed's like,
There's only 34 pages.
Ed's like, my battery's starting to go out on my laptop.
All right. All right, 7 o'clock. We ready? Yeah, we're actually, I'm up in Massachusetts, so everyone's outside. So,
I appreciate everybody trying to be here as best they can. Martin said he would text me if he didn't think he could zoom in, so I'm kind of checking him on that. We'll give it a minute. Okay, good.
yeah. So if you might hear some kids running around. I'm trying to keep it quiet, but we'll see how it plays out.
Hey, Ed.
Hey, Martin, how you doing?
All right, Martin's
Well,
up.
how are you?
Good man.
All right. Martin, I was in New Hampshire and I thought about you as I was trying to act like I was a photographer. I'll show you some pictures later.
Yeah, cool. You weren't far from me. I'm just north of you. I'm just north of you where you were.
You in Maine or?
I'm in Maine now.
Yeah, I was high up in New Hampshire. You know where the what is it? The Washington Mountain, that area.
Yeah.
Conley?
Yeah,
Yeah, over
Nice.
there.
cool. You have a good vacation?
Yeah. I'm out now. I'm in Massachusetts now.
Oh, nice.
Okay, thank you for that. All right, you guys ready to go there on Zoom?
Yeah, you got everybody here.
Great. John, good to go? Wade, button pressed, been pressed for some time now? Okay, good. All right, you guys, thanks to everybody for being here tonight. It's August 1st, a Monday. It's our first meeting of August, and looks like might be our only meeting of August, in case something cuts loose here. So thanks for being here tonight. In the house is Carrie, Ed, and myself. On Zoom is we have the completion of our commissioners with Ed and Martin. Our town bailiff and engineer, John Strong, is here, as well as Wade Yost. So we've got basically the full crew here. Is Jay there too? Hi, Jay.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, just his name's there.
That's all right. Close enough. He just he muted and unmuted for a second to let us know. I love that. He really does want to move this along tonight. Okay, very good. So thanks to everybody for being here tonight. It's a full house. We've got a few things to work on. We'll get started with Jeff leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, very good. So in order to not blend the agenda tonight, we're going to go in order and do it the right way. Announcements from Jeff, if you want to get started. Carrie, you'll be next.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's his historic properties lecture on August the 18th, seniors. Also on August 15th, there's the book club. They're going to be talking about the Glass Hotel by Emily St. John Mandel. There's a virtual tour of the Dancing Leaf Farm. Oh, sorry, I don't have a date on here. Oh, and did you see the interesting thing here about? There's a discussion about the John Denver song called "Take Me Home, Country Roads," and that was written regarding Clapper Road in Gaithersburg. So I thought that was quite interesting. And let's see, I forgot to highlight some of my things here. And on August 23rd, again, the Poolsville Seniors Club is having a game day board game called the Mexican Train, Scrabble, and a couple of other things. So I guess that's it for me. Thanks, Jim.
You got it, Jeff. Thank you. Carrie, go ahead.
I just wanted to mention an unfortunate item, unfortunately, just the sad passing of Sid Wolf, who's a county resident, and he was the campaign manager for Sidney Katz. And he had also been a staffer for former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, but he was killed tragically in a car accident last week, and so I just wanted to mention that and say that our hearts go out to his family.
Well, that's terrible, and thank you for bringing it up. And sad.
It's just, I just happened to meet him on the campaign trail as I was campaigning for some other candidates during this cycle, so just sad.
Terrible.
He's young, 2 young kids and wife behind, so
Ugh,
sad.
that is awful. All right, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Ed, what do you have for us, buddy?
Nothing at the moment. Summer's going well.
That's good news. All right, Martin.
I don't have any announcements at the moment. Thank you.
I did forget one thing.
Great. Jeff, go ahead. One thing.
So I just wanted to also mention that the fire station, the Upper Montgomery County Volunteer Fire Department, is having its pork and beef fundraiser, sandwich sale fundraiser on Saturday, August, I think it's the 13th, which is, it's always on the second Saturday of the month during the warmer months. So that's August 13th, starting at 11 a.m. And come early because selling out happens rather quickly. Thanks, Jim.
Great. And for my announcements, I just have a few things, and of course, I'll be saving some for fair access. First of all, in case anybody missed it, they had a construction mishap over at the grape crush facility, and a portion of it collapsed during construction. So I'm going to find out a little bit more, and I'll be able to report back on people. It's nothing that can't be overcome. Nobody was hurt. But it was some sort of construction foul-up that took place, and it was pretty devastating as they moved along on the construction part of it. So very, very disappointing. Went by there today, and it was. I mean, they've cleaned it up for the most part, but it's still bad, not good. So I'm sure we'll hear more about that as time goes on.
Was the trench collapse?
No, it was the building itself. I'll send you some text pictures. Anyway, that's in case I'm just mentioning it because I'm sure some of the residents are wondering what's happened because you could hear it for quite a ways away too when part of it collapsed. Also too, so I've just wanted to say the commissioners have all received several letters regarding the potential for a bouldering wall, as well as a bunch of letters concerning the direction for potentially bringing in chickens into the town legally. And so I just want to let you know that, the commissioners, you're always welcome to comment to the residents. I put my own comments out, but you're welcome to do it. I'd love to see how this is going to play out. And I'm going to hold back from any chicken puns or jokes. Feel free to lay them in there if you guys want to, but just letting you know that I'll be answering all questions. You can cluck in however you want to on that. So just letting the residents know, anybody that's listening out there, that we've heard you and we're hearing you, and we encourage all public comment. So that's it for the announcements, unless the commissioners have anything else. Okay, very good. So going in order, Carrie, can you tell us about events?
There's 2 more Fridays on the Commons this summer. The first weekend in August, this weekend, is the game night. And the last weekend is Fiesta on the Commons. So special shout out to the crew who were setting up this past week and was like, should we, shouldn't we, with the rain off and on. So that was quite tedious, and many thanks to them. And I just wanted to throw a shout out to the folks continuing to organize the farmers market. It continues to do well and grow, and it's a steady but long process, and they're doing a great job. So that's all I have.
Great, thank you for that, Carrie. Martin, can you tell us about the Planning Commission? Looking for the agenda. Martin, can you hear me? Okay, you're up for Planning Commission.
Well, I don't have anything to report at this time. We meet again a week from Wednesday, and I will have more to add at that point.
Okay, good enough. Thank you for that. Ed, talk to us about Fair Access Sustainable Poolsville.
All right, I'll say fair access for you. With Sustainable Poolsville, so we haven't had a meeting yet, but so nothing to report at this time.
Got it. Sustaining. Very good. All right. In terms of fair access, everybody knows we have some big events coming up here. Link's done a lot of work on potentially putting together a debate for our gubernatorial candidates. So that could be something that Fair Access could be doing here coming up between now and the November election. In terms of our other initiatives, we've put together another draft white paper that kind of reestablishes where Fair Access is now, goals that have been accomplished as well as the things that we're still working on. Everybody knows, the ones that are at the top of the list, the Wellness and Community Center, making this pool a year-round facility. There's a fair amount of initiatives that we still have out there. We're not etched in stone yet on getting the gym turned in the right direction, although we've heard some good things. We did have a meeting with Seth Adams, along with some other members of the community and members of the group that's working on construction. So we've heard some good things. We're hopeful that, again, we'll get the gym turned in the right direction, that the funding will come in place. They're actually, I think they implied that they're seeing some of the costs not being as heavy as they thought they were, which might make it so that this can come in under a different funding mechanism. So the more that we hear about it, we'll let everybody know, but that's our big movement is finalizing the funding needed to make the gym go in the right direction, have it be the right size, and then take on some of the other projects that we're working on. A lot of this hinges on, of course, who's going to be our county executive. I think we know who our council members are going to be or close to it, depending how the vote goes in November. Everybody's invited. All these important people are going to be at Poolsville Day, at the Poolsville Day breakfast. So I'm hopeful that all the commissioners can attend and put on your best schmoozing hat, which you guys all do very well, and be a part of the scene that morning. It's going to be a big day for us. We're going to do a nice presentation that's going to include, again, a wrap-up of where we've been and what our goals are coming up in the future and what we need out of our elected officials. So this is one of the days that we pin them down. And in dealing with our elected officials and all the ones, there was a lot of campaign events that took place recently that we were able to attend. We heard time and time again how the Poolsville Day breakfast and Poolsville Day itself is such an important part of our advocacy. So excited, and hopefully all you guys can make it and do everything that you do so well. So that's it for us for Fair Access. Jeff, Parks and Recreation Streets?
Yes, so we have our meeting coming up. It's actually, I guess Tuesday, on Wednesday this week, August the 3rd. And some of the things we're going to be talking about, again, are the crosswalks, so particularly the one, or the desire to have one, or the flashing crosswalks over by Fisher and Wooten. We also talked about the rubber mulch, and I know I mentioned this at the last commissioners meeting as well. And I went back in my notes, and I found that the rubber mulch that we currently use was approved by the Consumer Product Safety Commission, the American Standard for Testing Materials, that's called ASTM, ADA, that's the American with Disability Act, and the International Playground Equipment Manufacturers Association, called IPEMA. And at our last Parks Board meeting, we agreed there was a woman who was highly qualified and indicated that the rubber mulch that is currently in use can off-gas some dangerous, potentially dangerous gases. So we're looking for the results of a future, or I think an evaluation or a testing that's currently ongoing. So hopefully we'll find out about that. And also Preston gave a good description or report on expanding the actual area of parks, which has several advantages. The area would no longer be mowed, so you wouldn't really use all up the gasoline and the fumes and whatnot for mowing those areas. It allows it to go back to its natural state. It allows it to collect a bit more rainwater and allow the birds, rather the bees, to have a pollinator, a larger pollinator area. We also talked about the field rentals, and I chatted briefly with Wade and understand the reasons now why the request was made to discontinue refunds, but that hasn't been fully decided yet. And then I was asked by the Parks Board to get the latest policy on street names so that the Parks Board could be involved with whatever street need naming for the fish pool, the Willard project over there. And then we have two new things coming up on the agenda, which you already mentioned, Jim. The adult climbing wall, which is also a new word for me, a bouldering park. I hadn't really heard that term before. There were quite a few submissions from local residents supporting the idea. So we'll talk about that at the next meeting. And then also Stevens Park, the pickleball Helmos Park area. So I don't really know what the topic is on that, but it's going to be something about pickleball and tennis. And that's it.
Yes, pickleball, our favorite sport in Poolsville. Very good. Well, I'm sure you guys will handle all that well. That sounds like a great agenda for the Parks Board meeting. Looking forward to hearing more, and good stuff. And it's nice to hear from the residents again on the many subjects that we put out there. It shows they're reading the agenda and talking about it on Facebook wherever they are. So that's awesome. Very good. Okay, thank you for that, you guys. Nothing else in terms of the committee reports. Time for the meeting for public comment. Tonight we have 2 people that have signed up. We're going to go in alphabetical order. So, Jerry, you're first up, and Steve, you're going to be right behind them, if that's okay.
Thank you. Jerry Klobakowski, 17300 Fletchall Road, Poolsville, Maryland. I know it's still early in the renovation process, but is the school renovation on track and on schedule? Is it within budget? Has there been any unique or unexpected problems that have been encountered? And also with respect to the gym that you were talking about, I understand that the size may be increased, but will it be comparable to gymnasiums at schools like Gaithersburg, Northwest, Paint Branch, Seneca Chase, or Seneca Valley, etc.? Or are we going to get something shrunk down? I would hate to see us go through all the effort of lobbying and getting a new gym only to find out that we're still in a predicament where we have a tournament and not all the Poolsville's parents can attend their own child's basketball or volleyball games in our gym. And then the last question I have is, what is the status of our GIS? Are we moving along with that, and how much have we gotten into that? Digitized, I guess would be the correct term.
Correct. We're moving forward with it. We have water and sewer as-built plans that have been loaded into the system, and we're going to be moving into the next phase of data collection.
And those plans are called up on tablets that the guys, water and sewer department people have?
They'll be integral into entering that data. Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. But Jim, since you're fair access, I just probably wait.
No worries. I'm glad you brought it up. So in the meeting that we just had recently with the guys, and that said it was led by Seth Adams, there was support people there as well. We also had Dave Griffin from Poolsville, PTSA, in the meeting. They said that they've run into some interesting situations in dealing with the site. Some were, maybe John, I don't know if they talked to you about them or not, but go ahead. There was some. They named off some things. I thought, well, actually, I wasn't surprised by any of them. It's as old as the site is, and the hodgepodge that's been done there for so many years. What did they run across, Johnny?
They ran into some old foundations of buildings that nobody knows where or when they were there. Evidently, they had been burnt down at some point. They've run into some soft conditions also. Then also some of the stormwater management issues have percolated into the system. So the county's having to deal with that, and also the developer.
If I might ask one question, is the soft earth issues, is that related to some underground stream possibly that goes through there?
It doesn't appear to be, from what, we're on the periphery of this.
Okay.
It didn't appear to be. It was probably older construction that took place.
Okay. All right.
And Jerry, as far as the gym goes, I said we've been in every meeting that we've been in. They almost start off the meeting with, "Yes, we know you have to have the gym be the right way." They know that that's our entire focus right now. Obviously, besides staying on target, working with town staff, making sure that the build process goes the way it's supposed to go. And assuming they do this, and I don't see us resting until it's done the right way. It will be equal to or better than what's out there in terms of the newest construction and the newest gyms. It truly is going to be turned on its side. They're very, very up on our issues in terms of seating, bleachers, access, having to have the gym space to have 3 consecutive courts lined up, versus now we have 2, and having the room on the sides to have the bleachers be world class. So what they've talked about is essentially knocking down the wall, turning it on its side, having bleachers be as big or bigger than what's available in other Montgomery County schools, and remaking it from really the start to the finish. They plan on remaking it anyway. It wouldn't be left untouched, but the spin is going to be to turn it around on its side. So I don't think we have a full, we don't have a full promise yet on this, and it's something that we're paying close attention to. Link, go ahead. You probably have something else.
Just one other point, Jerry, just so you know.
One last question I forgot to add was the community center. Is that going to be adjacent to or on the same property as the high school and next to the gym so that you can get, usage?
So if you go into any of the schematics that they put out there so far, first of all, I don't think anybody's promising to us anywhere that it'll be even built on school grounds. I think that's what we're hopeful for. But right now, where the administrative offices are on Wooten Avenue, where they've moved them over to the side, that parking lot area there next to the private residence is where they're proposing that they've got a block area set aside, and the footprint is decent sized, but not overwhelmingly big. And I believe that the best they could get out of that Montgomery County Construction could get out of MCPS is to designate a pad area for what could be the wellness community center. So if it's there, it'll do the job, but it's not set in stone to be there. In fact, I'm thinking in our next round of communications with them, we're going to be talking about potentially other areas and what else could work. That being said, and I'll finish off with this, Link and I met with them a couple months ago, and they're quite a long ways, pretty deep into the POR, which is the POR is the Program of Requirements. Is that what it is? That decides what's really needed out of the community center and the wellness center. So our POR is heavily advanced from a structure standpoint. Whether the location is going to be where they propose it to be next to school or somewhere else, don't know yet.
Well, whatever place, God forbid, it doesn't have a gym size that it can accommodate at least 2 or 3 pickleball courts. I'd hate to be in the meeting when they find out that it's not there.
We're gonna make
You do it at your own peril.
Right.
Rest assured, the
Thank you.
PASC has sent that in. And
Yeah.
They already know.
Yeah. They actually
They sent it in.
Link's got a good point. So the folks that are running the POR have actually already reached out to several of our groups. It's not complete, but we gave them the names and information for several of the user groups, including PAA, including PASC, and they've already reached out to them. I don't think that their feedback is permanent or final, but it was enough to round out the POR so that they could get a good scope of how the use would be here and how the use would be here different than potentially in other places. So, yeah. Thanks for asking. Appreciate it. It's good seeing you again. Sorry, phone's ringing off the hook tonight, guys. All right, thank you for that, Jerry. Appreciate it. Steve, come on up here, identify yourself, sir, and the microphone is all yours. Jeff. I don't know why I call you Steve. I like calling you Steve for some reason. I do know it's Jeff. No, there never was a sale there, sir. Jeff Yarmus, who lives on White's Road, is up to give us a conversation. Thank you, Jeff, for coming. It's good to see you again.
Okay.
Thanks,
there we go.
thanks for
I'm
coming.
live.
And lean in a little bit so the people out there in the hinterlands can hear you.
Oh, I thought you wanted them to see me. I'm ugly.
Okay, I'm here about Westerly's truck traffic.
listened to it for a long time. I've been retired just before the pandemic, and I hear these trucks coming down. I see everything coming down Westerly, and it's got a nice one. Thump, thump. Over that nice speed bump you got. It's been going on for a while. I've been annoyed with it. Haven't really cared about it too much. Haven't. It has gotten worse, and it's gotten. I relayed to Wade last week. I was coming down, and I saw a 53-footer going down Westerly. I know it's 53-footer because all I saw was the back of the trailer, and I saw the 53 in the top corner. I also saw another one, probably a 38 or a 40-footer. It looked like a local truck. I'm familiar with trucking. My father was in it. Anyway, it's ridiculous what goes on down there. It's all, nobody knows where they're coming from. Nobody knows what's going on. We can't catch anybody or do anything. We need some police presence out there. It's been ignored. I'd also like to know why the Oxley Road barricade was opened. I understand it was opened early. Were all requirements of the, what do you call it, a codicil or program or whatever, met to release that road? Because I am not a fan of worrying about whether it's convenient for transient workers to come doing 45, 50 miles an hour down my road, our road, tearing it up. They're costing us money. The only thing they're doing is taking money out of the town. They're not coming back here. They're not living here. They're transient workers. Maybe not exactly that category or whatever it means, but they don't live here. I was coming down after that, seen that a couple times. I told Wade about it. I saw another one. I saw two trucks in quick succession one day. One was a shorty, and the other was probably 38. So by a shorty, I mean probably a 25, 28-footer, a little shorter truck. Nonetheless, tractor trailer, well over 20,000 pounds. The road limit is 20,000 pounds, no through traffic. You put an agreement in to limit Lennar, I believe it was, all the truck traffic. Now suddenly they think that there's not so much concrete, so it's okay. The people over on Oxley Farm were not at all happy about it, but we went ahead and did it anyway. I'd like to know who made that motion. I think they need to be reacquainted with the people in this town because we're the responsibility, not these are for transient workers who are causing problems. And I'm sorry, I'll go back a little bit. What really set me off is I'm coming down Westerly, taking my dog down to Edwards Ferry Road. Seen trucks going by. I go by, there's a woman, trash trucks, trash everywhere, not a big deal. Trash cans, it's normal. She's walking on the left side of the curb and gutter with her buggy because she can't get in and out and around. She's not about to be picking up dirty trash cans and getting them out of her way for her kid, which she can do wash her hands. So anyway, I'm doing 15 miles an hour and I'm beginning to accelerate up to 20. I crawl. Yes, I'm a pain in the ass. Excuse me. Next thing I know, I'm like, what the? It was a contractor's truck. I don't know whose it was. It was loaded with equipment. Big black contractor's truck. Whoosh! And he headed up and he turned left on Willard. I tried to follow him, but I didn't have any luck. So it's just ridiculous. The tractor trailers, everything coming in. How they make a turn onto Westerly is beyond me. Every corner is off camber. They've got to be coming through the church, which is not restricted, picking up U's and zigzagging, is my opinion. I don't know where they're coming from. I just want them to stop. We need some police. You supposedly need do something with cops periodically, I understand, but it is unacceptable to risk our neighborhoods and our people like this for people who don't care. They really don't. So why do we make their jobs easier? I'm not saying obstruct them, but you know what? They don't need to be on the local roads. What's going to happen when the next subdivision's coming down there? What's the one when the 60 houses are built on Edwards Ferry Road? They're not going to be driving up River Road, up off it and all that gravel. They're going to be coming through town, doubling back down at Edwards Ferry and taking the smooth road down. May not be the smoothest, but it's better. We need something done. We need it done yesterday. It's been around for a while. And I'm just, today, for the final one, after the tractor trailer went in, I was looking for the tractor trailer. I'm just going to take a picture. And I saw the truck that was behind him. It was a stair truck, 40,000-pound truck. He's parked in there making a delivery. So I didn't see him come on the first way. I saw him come down. I came around the back way. I saw him go. He came out, went up to the road, turned around, hit westerly, went all the way to 07, turned right. Full through. We're not playing a little game of, well, I didn't go all the way through. So what can we do? What are we willing to do? We willing to spend any money? We need to do something. Residents deserve protection. There are kids all over that place. In the week, it's unusual, but,
No, Jeff, you raise a good point, and I'm with you. I've actually seen them coming in down Fisher Avenue and taking a left on Westerly and having, I'm not sure how they negotiate that one either. So, you guys, Jeff's brought up some good points here. Why don't we go ahead and address it? Give me some information here.
Sure, I'll sort out. I did contact Officer Beardsley and informed him that we needed to get some enforcement for both the trucks and the speeding that was happening down Westerly and other places in town. And so he's gonna sit down with the captain and figure out, what officer he can put out here and when he can put him out here. So I don't have an answer yet, but I did make contact with him.
And then the requirements, and Jeff's on the money here, I think, right? They're not allowed to cut through the neighborhood. They are supposed to go around, right? There's designated routes that they're supposed to go.
There's actually 3 signs on Westerly Avenue that says no trucks over 20,000 pounds.
But part of their, I believe you call it a codicil or an agreement, you guys was put out in the local paper, you said until certain percentage of the houses were sold and occupied, the road would not be opened.
Well,
Open
I'll let these guys address this.
Okay, so first of all, that was one of the battles that we had from the very beginning. The problem is these guys ride by GPS and they program it in. They just put in the address and the system tells them this is the way to go.
Tells them to take Whitesbury.
Yep. And they come down that way. The other is that at the current time, there's only 4 more houses to be occupied within Westerly Grove, and they've met that requirement for being able to open it up. There's only 2 that are major construction that are taking place still. Most of the houses are done at this point. There's probably 2 more, my guess is 2 to 3 more loads of concrete to come in there, and that'll be done. So they've met that requirement. We haven't opened up Oxley Farm yet. We do anticipate probably, I'm not Oxley Farm, sorry, Bodmer has not been opened up yet. We do anticipate by the end of August, Bodmer to probably be opened up. That does not mean that we've taken over the road yet. That just means that it's open to transient, just like any of the other subdivisions.
The Oxley Farm is open, is now open
The Oxley
and
Farm
cutting
section
through,
is.
right?
And that Oxley Farm section, what would be anticipated would not be the transient people from like the Grape Crush facility, which you're seeing a lot of that traffic come through. We would not anticipate that they would pull down into the subdivision and then zigzag around. You would think they would go down West Willard and continue to 107. We've had that discussion before with the truckers about that, and the problem is the database tells them to come. If they're coming from Rockville, they're going to try to cut through.
Can we go ahead and invest in, this is going to be, the Grape Crush facility is going to be going on for a while. Obviously, they still have more work to do, and they're going to do more closeout on the Lennar development. What would it take to us to invest in a specialized sign that could go on that? I know that it's the state highway, it's still Fisher Avenue down there. But can we put a sign on that corner, a big sign that says, stop, if you are this truck, if you're a truck or you're construction traffic, continue on to West Willard?
I will look into that and see what's out there.
Because he's, I think Jeff's partially on it, because obviously I live there, so I watch it all the time. I'm not sure how many people are zigzagging through. I know they can go down Tom Fox and then zigzag up. And I don't know if those are the ones that are trying to dodge it.
Now,
but
most of the ones that we've seen, and actually Preston was out there today because I had to get pictures of the signs, make sure the signs were still in place.
Yeah.
And we had to put 2 extra signs on Oxley Farm, 25 mile an hour, and we put our speed awareness sign there too, just because it's an open road, make sure people don't go fast through there. But he said as he was sitting there, a tractor trailer came down and tried to turn off of West Willard to cut through to 107. He's like, no, the sign right here, and made the guy back off. So it happened right there when he was standing there.
How about a speed camera?
Well,
That'd be a nightmare.
I'm with Wade that I want to hear more from Officer Beardsley and et cetera, because we've definitely seen an uptick in speeds, and of course, no greater time for us to do streetscape and get our plan in place to slow everybody down on Fisher Avenue. Down by my house, it's back to being a race course again. I see it all the time on there. But I think just the concern, and I think your initial concern, and the one you're really hitting the nail on the head, is that the construction traffic, which is going to be going on for still quite some time. They're just in the GPS. They put it in, but I think that Westerly cut through is the one that's really the problem, and I see it. I know we walk on it, we see it, we know that's what we're doing. So I appreciate you bringing it up. And any others, I don't want to
I think
dominate
you
this.
need to
Other
also-
commissioners can comment.
They're trying to find a shortcut from Fisher Avenue to Westwood?
Just like John said, they plug in their GPS, and it is theoretically quite a bit quicker to cut through Westerly, or distance-wise. It's quite a bit quicker to just take a left on Westerly from Fisher, from Rockville,
Oh, okay.
and then cut straight through the neighborhood. Speed bumps that I'm sure that Jeff can hear from his house going over, probably Jerry too, as they go over on there, and the speeds are
90,000
increasing.
pounds makes noise.
It does, and they jump. So yeah, if you could do that, but I would appreciate it if you could investigate a sign too, because I think we need to stop it at the source. There's no other way to get them. We don't stop them from coming up Fisher Avenue, right? That's not part of it. Fisher Avenue was always set for carrying that
Just like you
industrial
said, that's
traffic.
where they're supposed to go, but it's a
Right.
Yeah.
nice cut.
We didn't push them down 28 and up 109 and down in that way, right? No. Okay. So yeah, that's what we
I would
have to
ask
do.
One further thing.
Sure.
In your seeing what you can do with signs and whatever, bear strongly in mind, you have a 60-house subdivision being built at Offutt and
Now that's nothing's happening there.
permits issued.
Yeah, yeah, no, there's nothing out there. So you're talking about
I
on
was
the.
just down at Permian today, they told me it's in the works, it's being done.
No, there is nothing that's come in front of our planning commission of any substance.
No, out of town, down by the river.
Oh, okay, well,
Down by
out of town,
Edwards
then I
Ferry.
got you on that.
But where do you think they're coming from? Where do you think they're coming for services?
Yeah,
Where do you think
well,
they're gonna be?
I
Sorry.
have to learn more about it. I don't know anything about that subdivision. That sounds, Jeff, I'm not refuting. In fact, I'm going to go do my homework, but that would be a surprise to me that there's a subdivision of any kind of size being built in the Ag Reserve that's outside of the town of Poolesville. I would say that's not impossible, but pretty damn close to it.
I was actually kind of.
So
surprised at
just as a FYI, right across the street from the Lennar development is a potential development somewhere way, way off in the future that's, I think, owned by the Jamesons now. And that's one that have we seen one, Martin, have we seen them in front of the planning commission once so far? Concept. Or just a concept, okay. So this is way, way off. I think that might be the one you're talking about. But I can't imagine the Ag Reserve that there's any 60-home subdivision being built anywhere.
I'll look up what I found and send it to you.
Send it, please. We'd love to hear it. And I don't want to hear it because I don't want it to be happening, but I'd like to hear if there is some. Send it to Wade and he can distribute it. So we're going to leave you with this.
Thank you.
Wade's already talked to about doing, reaching out to our police about enforcement, both for speeding in town as well as enforcement of the weight limits and truck traffic on Westerly. And then we're also going to look at potentially getting a big warning sign to stop the people from going down. And I know you've already put in your speed information at Oxley Farm and try to encourage or discourage as much traffic through unless it's supposed to be going exactly where it's supposed to go. And I appreciate you bringing it up.
We'll wait and see what happens.
And
I'll report back to you.
well, we need neighborhood observers that are trying to
Well, see, that's
help
what
us out.
When we moved in, I built this nice deck, and I have a direct line of sight to the intersection of Westerly and White's Road. Borrowed
Okay.
My sister's Nikon.
Well, thank you for letting us know. We appreciate it. Anything else for Jeff, you guys? Commissioners? Okay, good. Thank you for your
But
test.
I just want
Thanks.
to
Go
mention
ahead.
to Wade, I know Montgomery County Police has those large electric signs. They're on a trailer, an orange trailer, and they're typically for events or if there's some, some incident on a highway, that kind of thing. Maybe that would really get everybody's attention to, no construction traffic, that kind of thing.
Well, I just also would point out that we don't really have much enforcement going on with, trucks that have modified exhausts. I mean, they're quite noisy. Yeah, yeah, I mean, it's illegal in the county. It happens all the time.
So if you could mention that to them as well, I'd appreciate it, because they're definitely loud. Thank you from all of us that live on Fisher Avenue or close to it. We appreciate it. Jeff, come. Yeah, Jeff, come join us on Fisher one of these days. Martin's there. Ed's buried back in Hunter's Run. Okay, you guys, thank you for that. Jeff, thanks for the testimony. Appreciate it. Thanks for the background, guys. We'll look for some report back when you get the chance. And you're going to keep Jeff involved with whatever we end up doing there, right? Exactly. He knows how to reach you. Very good. Okay. Anything else for public comment? All right. Very good. So approval of the minutes. Can I get a motion for the approval of minutes for July 18th, 2022?
Make a motion to approve the minutes of July 18th, 2022.
Motion. Second from Carrie. Great. Any questions? Guys on Zoom? Anything? Nope.
I've got to abstain, so.
Okay, gotcha. I'll get ready for that. All right, very good. So we have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor of approving the minutes for July 18th, 2022, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? Martin's
Yep,
abstaining
me.
already. Okay, got it. Minutes have been approved. New business. Old Methodist Church Award. Wade.
Okay, so we put together a bid package a while back, John, Jay, and myself, and we advertised it for a closed bid sale for 17605 West Willard Road, which is the Old Methodist Church. On the 29th, which was Friday at 1 p.m., was the deadline for all bids to be in. We did receive one bid, and I sent it out to everybody, has a copy of the bid in front of them, and we can take it from there.
Well, that's awesome. Feels like this has been going on for almost as long as that building's been there. So thank you for giving us all the information. So commissioners, commentary on this. We're here. It's happening.
Well, I read it over and I had a couple of questions which Wade answered because I wasn't really sure if receiving only one bid was permissible, and Wade said that that is permissible. And also, when I read over actually, I felt that the submission from David and Sandy was better than I mean, I didn't think the number was going to be any different than it was, the 50,000, but I thought all the full description and the site plan that he provided, I thought was better than what I had anticipated. So, yeah, I thought it was quite good. I mean, I wish there were more just so we could have a comparison, but we got one, so that's the way it goes.
Very good. Thanks, Jeff. Carrie, anything on it?
I'm happy with it.
Okay, great. Gents on Zoom, anything on this, on it?
Sure. I read over the bid. I thought it was very thorough, and so I didn't see any problems with the bid.
Great. Martin, anything on your side?
Yeah, no, I agree with what Ed said. Like, I looked it over. It looks good to me. It's pretty ambitious and pretty impressive what they intend to do there. So it looks good to me.
Not at all. We said we were going to wait till any bids came in off of the community good, the public use, and the price also. But definitely the community good and the public outreach is certainly a huge part of this bid package, and it's probably going to be a great thing for the community. So it fits right into what we all were talking about as we went to put this bid together.
Great. John, anything on your side, technical aspects? No? Okay, very good. So what are you looking for us tonight then?
It'll be a motion to accept this proposal.
There you go.
Oh, can I just ask one quick question?
Sure.
Because when I read through it, and I know we had, I don't know if required or requested is the right word, but that the character of the church be maintained. And certainly everything that I read was followed within that restriction. But the one point that I was a little bit, when I read it over, that there was going to be a stage inside the church, and then the stage could also be somehow accessed from outside as well. And I don't know if David is on the call here or not, but I kind of felt like that part was a little bit inconsistent with the current character of the building. I don't know, anybody else have
So
thoughts
any
on that?
alterations that are going to occur with this property has to come before the planning commission. There'd be permits issued and different things like that. So there's always time for review. Yes, that is a plan, a concept plan that was just drawn up. But certainly once they get into the nitty gritty of, what walls they can move and how they can do things, things do change. So we have the last say permitting wise, if that answers your question.
And Jeff, part of it, and before because I want to have a vote on this in a minute, but part of it is just, the guys put together a technical bid and a process for that, for getting bids turned in. And that's why I was specific when I asked them, did it meet those requirements? And so tonight we work on that. And then and then stage 2 is, or stage 3, or sorry to even use the word stage, is what will happen to the planning commission when they're presented with the plans as they go along. So this
And I have
is,
to say that the concept plan that they did submit is in keeping with the character of the building, in my opinion, also.
Reading into things because whenever I get this notion of a stage in my mind, I think like those glitzy balls and lights and whatnot, and that might be.
maybe the places you hang out at, Jeff, but now this listen, it makes good sense. Just keep in mind this is just the start of this, and then they still will be going through a process inside the town. So, and it's a good process. And I said appreciate everything, the work the three of you guys put together to make this a fair process and an open one. Okay, very good. So we need someone to make a motion for approval of the bid, and so
Sure,
we can
Jim,
award this.
I'll make a motion. I motion that we approve the bid that's been presented to us.
Great. Ed's got
I
a
second that
motion.
motion.
Second from Martin. So we have a motion by Ed, a second from Martin. Any other questions?
So we're voting on
There's
to
your
complete the
questions.
sale then, right? That's what we're doing? Okay.
We're voting on the approval of the bid so that the sale process can take place.
Okay, well.
Sorry. Okay, very good. We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? Okay, it has thus been awarded. Very good.
How quickly does this happen now?
We have to wait. We have to wait for the 20-day period after we adopted the resolution from the last meeting. But that'll be the day. So it's a couple weeks.
The answer for Dave is probably not soon enough, but we'll just deal with that.
Congratulations to them.
Yep, congratulations to these guys that are investing in our town. It's greatly appreciated. So, again, thanks to the staff for putting all that together. We appreciate it. All right, sir, you're bringing us to the budget closeout?
Yes, I am. Budget closeout, operations, water, wastewater, and the revenue streams. So what I've done, I've put both the packet together with a presentation that I'm going to give you right now, which summarizes the main points of the budget, and then also you have the full copy of the closeout itself. And Jeff, hopefully I answer your questions as we roll through here.
If I may start out with a question about the budget itself on page 31. And it has to do with town statistics.
Okay.
And where it says the full-time number of town employees on a full-time. And it says from 2017 all the way up to 2022, there's 19, and then it bumped up to 20. So I'm just curious, is the 20th person the assistant town manager?
It will be, yes.
See, I guessed it right. Okay, cool. Okay, that was my question. That was one of my questions. So.
Okay.
Can I talk about this page?
Well, how about I talk about it, and then
Oh,
if
yeah.
I don't answer your questions,
Sure, sure.
because I might.
Yeah, why don't we let Wade present and then
Yeah.
questions?
Sure, sure.
Okay, so we'll start out with the general fund, and that kind of carries the load of everything, with the exception of how the water and wastewater operations go. So it takes care of the debt service, all the capital for water, sewer, and general fund and everything else. And it operated just over the 4.8 million, sorry, I can't see it from here, dollars. Also, the water and wastewater fund, we actually made more money than we anticipated in the budget. It was about over 1.6 million as far as total expenditures and revenues go. But we had to have a grant from the general fund for $157,000 to balance it off. And we'll talk about the specifics of that as we move through this presentation.
Talk about the 157,000.
We sure will.
Okay. And I'd like you, if you could refresh me about why the water rates don't, I know we talked about this a million times, but I forgot. Why
They weren't high enough in '22. So there was, that's the simple answer, but I'll get to more details once we get to it. Okay. So all in all, the budget did close out very good. It was over $720,000 in the good. So that's good news. Now this is kind of a neat slide. I show this every year. We see the income tax kind of creeping up. Finally, income tax revenue has surpassed property tax revenue. And that's the first time that's ever happened, and that's kind of a unique thing, but that's pretty telling of our community that it's very affluent people moving in here, that everybody's making money, it's good.
Yeah, that median family income is what's finally propelled us over.
Yeah.
We were waiting for that for
Yep.
years. I mean, there was a huge gap back when we
Used to be a
started,
huge
and
gap.
now
It
it's
was.
it's
Yes.
unbelievable.
So you can see our other revenue streams, how they kind of play out. Revenue sharing actually went up pretty good this year. We'll look at those details in a second here.
Is that yellow spot, is that the attendance on the water tower?
Sure is.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so looking at the revenues, here's a breakdown of it. So we were 720,000 over what we anticipated getting, and so a big chunk of it, 344,000 came from income taxes alone, which was surprising because when we do the projections for the budget, we listen to what the counties anticipates getting, and I've not looked at their numbers to see if they increased as much as ours increased, but I have a feeling they probably didn't. So we're in a unique position. Revenue sharing, we know the bill was passed, that we got the extra money came through. Mamel fought hard for us to get those monies for us. So
Thank you,
we
Jerry,
did-
Carrie. Thank you.
Yep. So we knew about that coming along. Same with the highway users. Each year they tell us what they're going to give us, and we've been getting more each year also. So it just kind of lays it out there where that 720,000, how it's broken down into the funds that we do receive. As far as expenditures go, we actually were under budget as far as expenses, and the biggest part, that's even with the $157,000 taken out of here. So it says negative, we were 6,000 under budget. Really, we were 160-some thousand dollars under budget, and a lot of that was due to salaries down. We had guys missing that weren't in place. The didn't have a town manager in place for a bit. I was consulting through the year, so there was a lot of things that were happening that were not expensed out. So that led us to our overage at the end of the year also. So on the water side, like I said, we actually made more money than we anticipated. Not much, 35,000 more. What really was the expenditures that killed us, and that's why we had to get the grant. And so we'll roll right into that right now. Biggest things,
Normally the water rates do cover the expenses?
never. That's what we're shooting for now. That's why we just did the increase a couple months ago. So that lag hasn't kicked in yet. Next month, actually, we'll start getting our first billings of the new rates. And we'll see how that pans out. So the wastewater operations, that's where we really took a big hit. And that's from sludge, chemicals, anything that had to truck in, and getting people out here to fix pumps and do stuff for us. It's just crazy. The prices have gone through the roof. We sent an RFP out to find a new sludge hauler. Not one person would bid on it. It's very similar to the trash story, But the cost of fuel, so there's fuel surcharges on everything we're doing now, chemical deliveries. We have these giant totes for treating the wastewater. And it's just the prices of everything and you can't do without it. So it's like you're stuck. And that's kind of why the expenses went crazy.
So was the majority of the 85, almost 85K for the wastewater was sludge, or was it a group
Sludge
of
and
things?
chemicals were the two.
Sludge and chemicals.
Yep, sludge and chemicals.
Hmm.
And it
Okay.
was surcharges on top of the sludge was really what hurt us.
Surcharges basically
fuel.
based on index. Oh, okay,
Yes,
yeah, okay.
exactly.
Mm.
And then water operations, we were a little bit over, and that was just a mix of different things. No one thing stood out. I think we had a couple wells that had gone out and shot us over as far as repair and maintenance goes. The administration, and that's all from salaries. We knew when we were a little bit over with overtime, but then we gave the raises when we passed the FY23 budget starting then. So we anticipated there was going to be an overage in that account to begin with. So that's where that came from. So that's the sum of where this money all came from that we're short. And then here's a breakdown of the water and sewer operations. You can see the sewer operations are a lot more expensive than dealing with just water itself, for sure. A lot more people takes to run the water department, and a lot more equipment, chemicals, and other costs associated with running the wastewater plant, so, including electricity, are big items that were expensed out. So if we go into the CIP accounts, I'm not gonna, you've got a question on one of these, we can talk about it, but this is just how to, each of the accounts as we go through it, what monies were expended in what accounts and for what they were expended on. Couple pieces of snow blower, a piece of equipment at the bottom there. We have, I think, 4 pieces of equipment for the parks and streets. Yeah, tractor and our holiday lights.
And Wade, what is a zone damper system?
That's in here. It's so there's different zones in here with the HVAC,
Oh.
and so there's one main unit, but there's like slave cylinders or slave controllers that can open it and open your dampeners. That's the way the
Oh, okay.
HVAC works.
Thank you.
We did have 4 vehicles we were supposed to purchase, and still waiting for 2 of them to come in. They're on back order. So we did replace 2 of ours. I mean, all this equipment we're looking at has been replacement equipment, nothing new. Street lighting program, we will be reimbursed from that. That's part of that grant monies that we're doing right now, but we've expended it. We're waiting for the reimbursements to come back. Same with the feasibility study. Fisher Avenue streetscape, that was for some of the equipment for the crosswalk flashing lights out there we put in.
And then Hughes Road and Tom Fox, that's to take away that right turn lane?
No, that was, we rebuilt the curb sidewalks right by Doug's house right there between Hamels 3. Yes. There was no crosswalk or ADA. We had to cut the island, put a refuge island in there.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, it still isn't there.
Yeah.
No, it's there. It looks good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Go walk it, Jeff, because it's there, and it's, they did a nice job. It's much improved.
Yep.
I'll have to do that.
Aren't you in the Parks Board? Just teasing.
I walk along that area all the time. I'm
Okay.
missing something
It's so
important.
good you don't even notice.
There you go.
Maybe.
Okay, so then the Parks and Recreation. So the Hamels restroom, well, we put together a bid packet and went out to bid, and the prices came in ridiculously high for a tiny little building. So we're going to go back out again in December. Several of our bid packets were taken back out in December from the painting the water tank, doing that, our paving projects, because the prices just came in just crazy. So,
On the rubberized mulch, I might suggest that we wait until the results of that
well,
safety
so,
study come back.
so
and,
that is, so you're right, this is already done in place.
Oh, that's right,
Yep.
yeah.
So you're right, though. We are going to do that. Matter of fact, we're going to replace the Dillingham Park fire there, too. We're going to get reimbursed for those funds right there. But we're going to put wood chips on half of it right now and not put any rubber in until, we're going to take any rubber out, but we're not going to add any more rubber until you guys get a decision made on that.
Yeah. Did the 17,000, is that going to be like recovered from insurance or something?
Yes, it is. It's part of it. And the park itself is over 100,000 to replace the equipment.
Yeah.
And it's all on order, which was part of my manager's report. Going into the water system, CIP, well 14, which is well 4 and 14 actually, going to be tied together off of West Willard Road. That's a big chunk of money, and that's all being paid for by impact fees that were collected during development process.
Yeah, I had a note on here. I thought the developer paid for new wells.
Exactly.
Oh,
I mean, it channels through us, so it's in our books, and so,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
All right. And I'm very happy to hear about the repainting of the water tank.
I know.
It's-
We
it's-
wanted to do that so bad this year, but,
Doesn't look good.
yeah, they couldn't even get the paint.
Seriously?
The paint was not available, right?
And was it finally decided on what the image will be?
I think you
Yes,
guys did.
They did.
We'll figure it out, though.
All right. I remember talking about that quite a while back.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's on a tanker truck out by my house down in Virginia. They are all lined up down through there. It's funny. Okay, moving on. So the wastewater, so we are working on the ENR upgrade, just some equipment replacements. Nothing out of the ordinary here. The roof, that's another one. We tried to go to bid with the roof, and it was triple the price of what it typically would be. So in December, again, we're taking all our contracts out to bid in December. Hopefully get spring contractors in, get first on the list as our,
Foresee all of this leveling out? And when?
we hope, I mean, it's anybody's guess.
There's some signs out there right now already.
There are.
I know there's some pretty good sized construction companies that are holding off on doing some things too and starting to see some competitiveness coming back into it. So I'm hopeful that translates for us too.
But what are roof documents?
spec books for going out to bid for a new roof.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And then moving on, some miscellaneous equipment. The electronic security gate is for the wastewater plant. That's coming out of the American Rescue Funds. And the rest of it's this small stuff. And the inflow and infiltration and some of the water system repairs, again, those are American Rescue Funds also. So those were even our funds that were being expended there to repair our sewer systems.
And that's ongoing, right? I mean, that's happening now.
It's happening right now.
Okay, great. yeah.
Yep. So look at some restricted funds here. And we just kind of carry these over. And again, the American Rescue Funds actually is going to go up here because we get a second payment. But we have some rec fees we've collected from developers, economic development, reforest. All these here, we'll be talking about allocating these probably when we start putting our next budget together.
What is a reforestation fee? Who pays that?
Developers do.
There's
Yep. They could pay a fee in lieu if they can't, if they don't have the property, go ahead and plant a forest. Really, the planning commission doesn't like to do that much anymore unless it's a small parcel, but right now you can't even know, okay, was that state law changed?
That's right.
Okay, so state law changed, so that we won't get any more, so that'll be it. But we've used it for projects like, over on Campbell Park, doing the arboretum and the gardens out front, and we can do street trees with it, so it's, all these funds are specifically marked and dedicated towards going to certain types of projects.
Okay. What are the projects for development funds? Page 6, page 15.
We have used those, those come from a park fee in lieu. So those are park payments, so those go back into park projects. So the rubberized mulch came from the development funds.
Okay, thanks.
And then looking at the impact fees, so we collected 20 single-family home impact fees. We actually built or had brought 26 houses online over the course of the year. The other 6 went into connection fees that were on the past page also.
Was that all Westerly Grove?
No, Ms.
No?
Kettler had a couple too, and there was a couple onesie-twosies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there was a couple that were just out there
Okay.
on single lots.
And so this, and you guys know this is.
Coming to an end, so.
This is coming, yeah, this, besides the Donegan property, this, like, I think this will be the last of the impact fees collected. Everything else from now on should be a connection fee.
Connection.
Oh, okay.
fees.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Then looking at debt service, we only have 2 loans, and one of them expires in '24. So that's nice, that, we don't carry debt, we were criticized for not carrying debt because people carry debt, and that's something we've always stayed away from doing. So-
Well, the rates were really good for a while, and now
They were,
they're
well, yes, you
bumping
can
up
get a
little bit.
1% loan.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
That's great.
So just looking at the overall cash flow picture where we are, we have a lot of money in unrestricted reserves as well as accumulated for CIP projects, restricted funds, but this is one of the biggest cash on hand into the years we've had in a while, and we're, $8.9 million with cash, so.
Well, I had a question about that number, because on the I think it was on page 1 or maybe page 2, it said that there was a positive balance of 720,000 and 048.
So that was just for the general fund itself. This is accumulated and funds that are earmarked for projects throughout the CIP pages. So this is the bigger picture of everything. The 720 was just for the general fund for FY22. This is the closing balance for FY22 for all the monies we have in our county investment funds and spread out elsewhere.
So this will carry forward to fiscal year 23?
That's correct.
Okay.
With the exception of it'll be less the $779,000 that we put into the streetscape account. If you recall, we had to have matching funds for that $4.1 million, $4.2 million grant. So we had to have our proportionate share of it. We had some monies already saved up, and then that'll go to it. That'll be our full amount so that we're matching our funds.
Right, we had to be like $1 million in, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so this is gonna come out of that and join up with the 200 and something thousand that we already had set aside.
Correct.
And the other thing, which is not related to the numbers at all, but I do recall a discussion that the system that puts together the budget software is going to be a different system.
No,
Is
so if you recall, that's what Tony had said, but when the lady came back, that he had hired to come in and evaluate our system.
Yeah.
Said, no, QuickBooks wasn't such a bad thing. You might look at some other systems. We talked to our accountant, and he said that he gave us a recommendation of what we could go to that would be better. And looking at what staff we have right now, we might not want to switch over to a different booking system.
Okay. Somehow I thought it was decided it was going to,
The Zenefits, which is the payroll system,
Yeah.
we are implementing that. So that's a little bit different than the QuickBooks.
okay.
Well, payroll actually runs out of QuickBooks now. It won't from now on. It
Yeah, but
runs
my
out of Zenefits.
recollection was the whole budget, right? Not not this PowerPoint.
Oh, no, they came back and said this was a very well put together budget and it was very comprehensive. No, there were compliments that came out of it. I could dig that whole presentation up that she had brought in.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Wade.
So that's it. Questions?
Yep. Well, you answered my questions as we went along. So thank you for that.
Can you go back to the wastewater?
Back to the pie charts. There was something on there that I remembered that I wanted to ask, but I didn't want to interrupt.
Page 8, yep.
This will get your vestibular.
I'm reading them all.
Okay.
Okay.
So while Jim is thinking, that pink area on the larger circle, that encompasses the full second circle?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a breakdown. Scroll back even further. I'll see if I can remember what it was.
It's a revenue pie chart.
Maybe.
Oh, page 4, I think. Yep. No, sorry. Yep. I don't know what Jim's thinking.
It's not what I was thinking about, but when is our, well, I know Jerry's probably sending this to me via some over the air thing right now, but what are our wireless rentals due and what's happening on those?
They're all different, but there's built-in escalators that are different in several of them.
Right.
So there's not one answer to that.
Okay, that's a non-answer, but I appreciate that. Yeah, that's all good. That wasn't it, so I can't remember, but I'll just hit you up on it when I do. So thank
As
you.
long as
It's
we
all
talk about
good.
wireless, is there anything, and this is completely off the topic, I know, so you can just save it for later, Jeff, if you want. Is there anything new on 5G?
I've not heard a thing.
Okay. Because my phone, and I mean, I can turn it on
Seems like
right now.
everything is, I know.
It's 5G right now, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not the fast 5G, it's the slow 5G.
Okay, so we do need to adopt this, the FY22 budget closeout.
Wade, one question about what Jeff asked. I thought what I heard was not that you're gonna have a new budget system, but you're gonna be able to have a system that the commissioners can access on a real-time basis.
Yes, well,
So in other words, you may have QuickBooks, but they can see it. As a commissioner, when I was a commissioner, that was a real frustration, not being able to see the budget on a regular basis whenever I needed to see where we were as the year went on.
right, they did
But
talk
that was-
about financial reports like I used to give
Yeah.
every quarter, but nothing about commissioners accessing the books.
Okay.
That's scary.
I don't mean accessing it in terms of changing. No,
It's changing
no
it,
way.
yeah.
When I was a manager in Verizon, though, I could see on my department's budget on a real-time basis. Not that I could change it, but I knew
You see
spend
it.
outs were every day I could change it.
I don't know, I can look into that. I don't remember discussing that, but we can certainly look
I
into
just
it.
think it's good for commissioners to have that.
But-
And I think QuickBooks allows that. I think you just gotta
Can't
Okay.
sign in,
allow it to
only
be
observe.
essentially accessible online for them, not for the public, but.
Let us know.
All right, you guys, so we've got it all in front of us right now. The closeout, thanks, Wade, for doing that. Feels good to be in the positives. Again, we'll have to see what happens with water again next year as time goes on. And I know that you're going to be working on the sludge movement and trying to secure the right pricing for that. Oh, that was my question. Now, I knew I'd get there eventually. So does that mean that in the budget that we're currently operating under, are the increases for those costs included in that budget, like projected increases for those
We
costs?
did get projected, but it wasn't to the extent that the fuel charges, that hadn't happened yet.
Right, so we're going to still see a negative potentially in
If
the
that doesn't
closeout of
change.
this year's budget if that
Yes.
doesn't change. Okay, so we'll make a note, obviously, for the next budget that we'll just have to probably jacket it back up again and see what we can do to cover those costs. Okay, very good. See, I knew if we waited around long enough, I'd get there. All right, very good. Thank you for that. Good answers across the board, guys. So we have it in front of us. What, we need somebody to make a motion to adopt the FY22 budget closeout.
I'll make a motion to adopt the
FY22 budget closeout.
Thank you, FY 2022 budget closeout.
Great. Thank you for that, Carrie. Second from anybody?
Second from Jeff.
Second from Jeff. Any commentary from the guys on Zoom?
No, I had a chance to read. It's a very thorough budget. Draft 22 closeout. So, thank you for your work and your team. So I thought it was very thorough.
Great. Martin,
Yeah, nice
anything on
work,
your
Reed.
side?
Looks good to me.
Okay, great. All right, we've got a motion. We've got a second. All in favor of approving the FY22 budget closeout, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? Okay, budget closeout's approved 5-0. Thanks for the presentation on that, Wade. Nothing under old business, so town manager's report, sir.
Okay, so we actually did receive our second payment to the American Rescue Funds, which was just under the $2 million. So that adds to the 8.9 we just had there.
Don't spend it all in one place, John.
I know there's requirements to provide reports back. Are you doing all that?
Between John and Bobby, yes.
There's a financial milestone you have to reach. And we haven't reached the financial milestone for the reporting, but yes, there will be reports back to the federal.
Well, yeah, when I was at the MML conference, this is some months back, I remember that there was a session all regarding the reporting requirements, and a number of the municipalities were hiring outside consultants to do all that reporting back, and I thought it was far more burdensome.
So it doesn't, in the April briefing that we received, it didn't appear to be all that burdensome, but we haven't received the report forms yet because we haven't reached milestones yet.
Oh.
Once we reach milestones, then we'll find out how burdensome it actually
And
will be.
we opened up a specific bank account for those funds.
Yeah.
So it's a total different checkbook, totally separate accounts, everything. That's what the auditor, said we should do. So we kind of just following everybody else's instructions along the way. Okay. I will be meeting with the hiring committee Wednesday evening to begin going through the 18 assistant manager applications. The process shouldn't take too long to narrow it down. So at that point, we got to say, when are you guys going to be around, be available for interviews? And it'll probably be very similar to last time. Probably the 3 top are going to come out, what I anticipate. So I can shoot an email later, and we can kind of see, where you guys are later this month.
Sounds great.
We can push back to September if we need to. But once we get down to narrow it down, I'd definitely like to let those candidates know that they are,
Absolutely. The sooner the better. And, I think all of us are planning on being around, so ready to act on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
August sometimes is a weird month for getting people.
It is, understood, and we don't want to preclude anybody from being a great candidate
Right.
just because it's a weird month.
Right,
Okay.
I remember last time we had an issue where the candidate that we were interested in, and we took a bit longer than maybe we should have, and then that candidate was no longer available. So, yeah.
Okay.
All the speed, I suppose.
There's a lot of positions out there right now, so, yeah, I know it's competitive. Go ahead.
Okay, so we do have 3 volunteer positions open on the election board. So anybody interested should go to the town's website, and there's the form to fill out, and it's on the very front page too. So we sent it out last week, and it's been advertised on Facebook. I think they.
No takers so
But- Not that I'm aware of.
Are there any other volunteer positions that we're looking to fill right now?
That's it for right now.
We put it on the marquee too.
Yes, if she didn't, I'll make sure she does. Okay. So like I said, the equipment for Dillingham Park has been on order. We're hoping by fall we can get it in. They're kind of wishy-washy on the exact delivery dates on all the pieces. So see how that goes.
Additional supplier?
Yes, it was actually the company that did the park originally,
Okay.
because they had the plans, they had the specs on it and everything, so.
Are we going ahead, are we purchasing the exact same equipment, or are we
Because it
doing
fits into
something
that
different?
spot and everything, so. And the insurance wanted to pay for replacement only.
So they'll only pay for the exact same
Yes.
equipment?
So we had to send that exact specs from last time to them exactly.
What's the total cost, just out of curiosity?
It's like 132,000.
It's actually lower than I thought it would be. Wow.
And then lastly, Andrew Witt, our water superintendent, handed in his 2 weeks' notice today. He'll be leaving. He's taking a job with NIH. Andrew's been an outstanding employee for 15 years. And while we made some major improvements when we did our salary increases, when we go into the budget, everybody else was doing the same thing at the same time. So we kind of took the wrong angle of pursuit going after, trying to fix that. We actually have other municipalities calling out, offering our guys jobs. This is going on quite a bit, so.
Is there an opportunity for us to provide Andrew with a counter offer?
No, because the thing with Andrew, so he's taken a position that is not a supervisor's position, it's just a regular operator's position, and there's no on-call, and he's making the same amount of money.
What about our
And knows, and he doesn't have responsibilities of a supervisor.
line of succession?
So that's what we're looking at right now. I have a couple things in front of me right now. I have to weigh in the options.
And Wade, I know you and I talked offline about potentially creating some sort of additional program to stay competitive or be more competitive, I guess. So I think we have to ramp that up and look at it as a mid-year potential scenario.
And we might have. So I've been collecting a lot of data, of just what the ads are out there right now for water and wastewater operators. It's really that industry that they can't get people. And so everybody's just, and then trying to recruit other people from other municipalities.
Oh, sure.
So-
Yep, no question. Okay, thank you for that. Just keep us up to date on what's going on with that, please.
Sorry to see him go, but also congratulations.
That's
to
what I
him.
said
Yeah.
too. I know. That's it.
Great. Okay, thank you for that. Other commissioners on Zoom, any questions for Wade's town manager report?
No, Wade, just one thing with the 3 volunteer positions that are available. Is that something that will go out through the text message system that we have also?
It did. It did go out, yes.
Okay.
Because Maggie signed up and
All
said
right.
she got it, or Kathy. One of them told me that they did receive it, so.
All right, fantastic. And then is there, just out of curiosity, I'm just thinking too, just with the text message piece, I was just reading those emails that went back and forth, and I'm thinking, is there a way through social media just to promote that service that's available for folks to sign up if they want text messages?
Yeah, we were having that conversation today. We were talking about even maybe doing a postcard or something and sending it out for the people that maybe aren't inclined to be on Facebook, just to try to get everybody to sign up. Because
Yeah, I think
not a lot of
postcard
people,
would be good.
yeah, not a lot of people put their email addresses in, but not a lot put their phone numbers in. I don't know if it's a trust thing or they just don't want to get bothered with text messages or whatever.
Okay.
We're definitely
All right.
talking about more ways to reach out to the residents, so that's become apparent over the next last time period. Now that we've kind of got it together, we're going to try to ramp it up and bring more people into it. And before I cut anybody else off, I just want to say the Poolsville Piranhas, as you know, we voted to give them a. They applied for a mini grant and got one for their ice cream social, and they were nice enough to send us a nice picture of the group, as well as a certificate of appreciation. So. There you go. Town of Poolsville, you got your money's worth. A very nice thing that they did there. So we'll put those on display at Town Hall and send the word out to them, thanking them for sending that to us. Very good. Anything else, Wade? Anything else, commissioners? Someone make a motion?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I second his motion to adjourn.
The Zoom guys go digital on the motion and the second. Anybody else? All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
None? All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody. Good job. Good, flawless digital presentation today. Thanks, guys.
Good night.
Appreciate
Take
it.
care.